What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another concept crafting video. This time it is the Gravity Grunt. Why is he called the Gravity Grunt? Why is he even a grunt? Well, this guy used to be laughed at. People told him he would never master any of the magics. None of it, no sorceries, no incantations, and that he was just a dumb ogre that, relied mainly on his strength to resolve his problems, and he was looked down upon, but he decided that he was going to prove everyone wrong, and that with pure strength and just a little bit of investment into faith and intelligence, that he would become the mightiest warrior of them all. So this is a strength build, but why is it called gravitational? I was going to say, and then I'm like, gravitate. So the gravity part is, we're going to get into it. You do use 2 gravity spells, and they will help you dominate your enemies from afar. You'll see all of the fights and all the combos. I love this character. It is my favorite so far. My favorite strength build, I would say. Competes with the Alucard, which is probably one of my favorite dex builds, even though I haven't really, taken it on a proper test yet, but I feel like it would perform. This one, I know it will perform. I trust this build, and I love it, and I cannot wait to take this build on a playthrough and create a build guide for you guys, a proper one, instead of this just concept crafting video. So let's get into this without any further ado. Let's show you what this guy can do. Oh, what is this? Oh, look at that. Now you're glowing and you're ready to strike enemies. So let's get into this. All right. Watch Dogs Heavy Gray Sword is up plus 25 Waves of Darkness. But before we get into the items, let's get into the stats and why you have them like that. Vigor is at 50. So you're a bruiser kind of class, where you're supposed to be able to take damage, but at the same time you're dishing out damage. You're gonna have to exchange blows sometimes, and you need some health for that. Mine is at 17. This is a strength build, so you will not be casting a lot, and the spells you do cast won't be consuming too much FP or mana. Endurance is at 25, so you could wear everything. You can probably put it down at 20 if you're going to be using this buff right here a lot more. Bike's Dragon Ball. Bike's Dragon Ball, I'll explain it when we get to it, but you can switch things around. You can wear something heavier, but I just love the way the set looks. I'll explain to you everything else. So what do we have? Endurance is at 25. Like I said, strength is actually at 68, but because of the helm I'm wearing, it gives me 2 strength. Dexterity is by default. Intelligence 18, so we can use some of the gravity spells. And faith is at 30, so we can have access to some of the most powerful buffs in the game. Arcane is at 10, that's by default. Now let's get into the items. Watchdog's Heavy Great Sword, plus 25. I usually leave these things at like plus 9 or plus 24 if they're sunburst, so plus 9. So this one, I love the way the weapon looks. I just love this weapon. It's a rare one to have, and it just fits the theme of this Gravity Grunt, and that's the whole point of this build, is how to... This is what the Gravity Grunt wanted to know. This is what he did as he, traveled the lands between and just tried as much as he can to find out what kind of spells would fit a strength build that he was looking for. And after seeing General Radahn mastering gravity, he thought he could too, but he was not on the same level as General Radahn. He did not have all these fancy scholars teaching him spells. He had to learn on his own. So he seems like an underdog in comparison to General Radahn, but you better believe he can easily deal with General Radahn. Anyways, so we have Waves of Darkness here. This is a big part of the build. You're going to be using this quite often. You can even buff it up if you want. Depends. We'll get to it now. I was gonna say meteoric, but that was a blade. So meteorite staff. As you can see, you cannot level this up. You cannot upgrade it. So this is already the way it is. S scaling. And we have S scaling here for the strength. And we have S scaling here for the intelligence. Golden Order Seal. Since we have some faith and some intelligence, we can use this one. We have exactly enough to use what we have one extra point into intelligence, so we have just a bit more than we need. To wield this, it weighs 0. Pretty useful here. The staff, of course, we're going to be casting only 2 spells, offensive spells, really, and the rest are buffs, as you can see. We're going to get into that soon. Alright, the Omen Smirk Mask. Love the way it looks, and as you can see, I'm at 68 strength without it. With it, I'm at 70. Okay, I love this armor set, the way it looks with this mask, so I got the whole Ronin set, except for the mask, because we're wearing this one, or whatever it was. Wasn't even a mask, but whatever. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. You are supposed to be a bruiser, you are supposed to be taking hits. Now this is optional. I am only having it because I feel like when I go into a battle, I want to have the opportunity to use anything I want, any of my buffs, and I will tell you what I mean. We'll talk about it very soon. Alright? You can switch it out if you want. It is not necessary, but this is the way I like rolling around with it. This one, you can keep this one. You can switch it out with this one. Or you can go for one of these defensive ones here. Or, I mean, you can go for Radagons if you want. But if you are spamming Waves of Darkness, then of course you want to go for this right here. Alright, those are the ones that I would go for. There's nothing else. I mean, sure, maybe if you're at full health, where is it? The one that gives you, and there we go. The Ritual Sword, Talisman, stuff like that if you want. You can do that, but not really necessary. And this is okay too, because you do have a lot of stagger potential, so you can get some of your health or mana back if you want. There are a few optional ones that I personally wouldn't go for, but you can if you'd like. Maybe, I don't know why Poison still would be too low, so it doesn't matter. This one, also optional. If you know how to manage your stamina properly, then you don't really need it, but if you're going to be swinging a lot and attacking and being very aggressive and offensive, then this is very useful. Alright, so as you can see, you can switch things around here, but this is how I personally would make this build. Alright, it's up to you what you want to do here, and of course for the flask here, Ponderous Physic, Strength, not Crystal Tier, and Opaline, or Opaline, whatever you want to call it, Hard Tier. Alright, so more defenses, so you're tanky, and the Strength not to get the cap for the Strength and reach 80 for 3 minutes. You can go all out and attack as much as you want. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's go check out what the spells are, and then I'll show you some battle. Alright, there we go. Memorize spell. Bestial Vitality, always useful. Sometimes you're just so close to having full health, and you know, like, you don't want to drink a potion or a flask, and you don't want to wait to get hit again so you can drink a flask. This will make sure that your health always tops up. It's fast to cast, cheap, you know, to, like, the cost is very cheap, and I rather have it than not have it, to be honest with you guys. Black Flame's Protection, I am an NG +5, and beyond this, this becomes very useful and very important. Golden Bow, I mean, increases defenses and your attack, so there you go, it's a must. And as you can see, guys, this is where the build gets interesting. Then you choose your buff. There is one missing buff, and that is this one right here. So you can switch this one out with this, but personally I would switch it out with this one, because this one has let me down. Like, I tried both of these status ones, that's why I kept them next to each other, and I'm like, alright, we're gonna find out which one is better, how do they perform. This one has been way better. I've been able to get this on multiple enemies, and it just feels nice, because as soon as you get the proc, you can then switch back to anything else you want. Now, I haven't tried to get this one. I'm going to try it out and let you know. To see if I can get some blood loss. But this one here never proc never gave me no frostbite. I didn't see no frost buildup or any of that. And I'm talking about like creatures that are just swinging at them for like the entire duration of the spell, maybe twice in a row, and it still wouldn't do it. And I just kind of gave up. This one here, pretty good as well. This one is good depending on the weakness of the enemy you're fighting. This one will allow you to wear heavier armor, or if you wear lighter armor and use this one, then you can enter a light roll. And if you have the ability to light roll while you're wearing gear in this and all that, it would be great, but you're gonna have to wear something like really light. So to me it's not really worth it, but I would rather have this one, Vike's Dragon Bolt, over Frozen Armament at this point. I really hope they help this skill right here. It really needs it. And then your only two spells. This one is for smaller enemies. It's really fun to use because if you sneak up on someone and you're in exactly within range, you have to be somewhat close to them. You can pull them in where they're right in front of you for you to capitalize by using your Ash of War, and then with some melee attacks followed up. Wow, you can do some massive damage, and just such a scary combo to use. And for bigger units that you want to stagger from afar, this is usually how this is how I would approach like bosses. Like when they're far, I would rock sling them a few times, and then when they get close, I will depend on my melee attacks, and usually just 2 or 3 melee attacks after like 2 rock slings, they will get staggered. So if all the 3 rocks connect, and that's it. I would not use anything else. I mean, you can use this one, but I wouldn't use it because it doesn't enchant my weapon. But if you want to, I mean, is it really that useful? Easier to deflect? I mean, that's okay if you use, if maybe you're fighting someone who has like a dagger or something and they won't be able to, like, I don't know, break your poise as easily or something. So, but it's not really that useful. I mean, you can use it and then still enchant your weapon. That's the good thing about it. But that's about it. What else would I use? Just maybe some of the fortification spells. Flame Protect Me, Golden Barrier, stuff like that, depending on the boss fight, if I feel like I need it. And that's it. Nothing else. Don't even think about it. No, you cannot use this. Not for this build. You can't use any of these fire spells. This is not what this build is about. You can't use anything else. I mean, hey, if you really want to, I'm not gonna stop you. Not even Poison Mist or any of that. But this is what the build is supposed to be. Anyways, guys, now we're gonna go show you what this guy can do. So be right back.
And I'm back, guys. So let's get into this. As you can see, after you buff, you go in there and you use your Ash of War immediately if you can. I would enchant my weapon before using my Ash of War just to get a little bit of that extra damage in there if possible. And maybe even with the Black Flame Blade, that would do a lot more damage, especially starting up a fight. It doesn't last except for like 5-6 seconds or something, so you might get in a few hits. And then I would switch to probably Poison Armament, but we're gonna test them both, and Frozen Armament. But Blood Flame is probably the best option if the target bleeds. If it doesn't, but does get poisoned, then you go for Poison Armament and so forth. And as you can see here, if you time it right, you'll get your Ash of War to do all 3 hits, to connect all 3 hits, and then you still get in your critical hit as well. Here, I'm gonna make it quick, guys. This one is Poison. Next one is going to be Frozen Armament, and then I'm gonna end it. We're gonna have another part where I take on a lot stronger and more interesting creatures than this guy here. Anyways, as you can see, the guy's already been poisoned. You just get poisoned so much faster here. Now, I am not sure about this giant troll's how like his resistances are looking like, but I'm assuming he's immune to frostbite. Well, I don't know. He's not immune actually. I've tried it against another guy. It's just the Frozen Armament sucks. So I used the frozen armament multiple times. This is one of them here. This is probably one where I got to hit him the most. I think I didn't even use Golden Bow to minimize my damage so I could just get in more swings and see if I could proc Frostbite, but I was never able to succeed, unfortunately. Anyways, guys, we are reaching the end of this part 1. There's probably going to be 2 parts, maybe 3, but most likely 2 for the Gravity Grunt, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Anyways, guys, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're all having a great day. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.